short dress man.
Man, I really appreciate you guys coming back to watch us this month. I've got an amazing show planned. Let me tell you something. Every time we turn around, we feel so blessed on the cars we get in here. I've got an amazing car I'm going to introduce to you today with some show enough serious history behind it. Now, in the past, we've talked about hot rods, resto mods, rat rods, and today we're going to take a look at the Studebaker that we just finished. The rat rod was in the middle of last month, but this month I've got a drag race car with some sure enough history. Check this out. Now, my wife and I, we go out to car shows and we, win the occasional trophy, but we have a car in our shop that dates back to 1960, National Drag Race winner. It was featured in Hot Rod magazines way back to 1961. This car is sure enough cool. There's a picture of the car right there. It's a 57 Bel Air of all things. When we got the car in, the owner, the guy that bought the car, said to us, he said, I found this amazing drag car, and what I want to do is I want to preserve it. I want to preserve it. I want to put it back the way it used to be. When we got the car, it was just a shell. It's got all the cool stuff. We'll go take a look at it. It's got all the cool stuff in it, the stickers, the line lock for the front brakes. It didn't have a motor and transmission. So right now, I'm doing the research. We've already bought the motor, and we're going to put this car back to its glory days in 1960. So that's going to be some cool stuff. And you guys get to see us build the car over the next couple months, but check some of this stuff out. Through the course of time, if you have a drag race car or a show car, you accumulate stuff. You accumulate trophies if you win. If you're good enough, magazine articles written. Nowadays it's the internet, but used to it was all print media. Hot Rod magazine was the top dog. I used to read Hot Rod. Some of my best education was out of Hot Rod magazine. Trophies that go back to 1960 all the way up to the 70s. That car was still drag racing. Then it kind of got tucked away in a barn, and guess what? We found it and we get to put it back together. But I think we'll get started. We'll go back to the shop, take a look at this car. After we take a look at that car, I think we'll go for a ride in the rat rod, the Studebaker. Would you guys like to do that? Let's go to the shop and take a look at the drag car. Oh, y'all did get it in.
It's not broke.
Not broke?
Yeah.
Yet. The 57 panel, you guys have been seeing us build that for almost 6 months now. We're right at completion. We had to wait on some parts. That's a hard car to build. It's a rare car. Jeremy with Crystal Clear is the only guy I trust to touch my glass. That front windshield's a $500 windshield. It's brand new. I've been using Jeremy at Crystal Clear for what, maybe 6 years now? When it comes to my old cars, I'm really picky about who I sub stuff out to. This is the 57 Dodge panel y'all been seeing me work on for about 6 months. It's almost done. Jeremy's putting the glass in today. But hey, let's go to the back and take a look at this 57 drag car. So I just don't want anybody here popping windshields in my painted vehicles with a specialized windshield that took me months to get. And I don't sweat it, man. He's never scratched a car, he's never dented a car, and he's never broke a glass that I've given him. So he's good. He's good. Good guy.
Feels like springtime.
Omar's getting the truck ready to go to the booth, doing the last final prep to it. If the leaves will quit falling, man, every time I turn around, this place is full of leaves. So Omar will probably have that truck in the booth today. It's going purple of all colors. That's a big C10 truck. We've been working on it on and off for a couple of months now. We finally got the final details worked out. It's actually going the same color as the 32 Coupe, the purple color. So that truck's going to look fantastic. We've already got the inside painted. All we have to do now is paint the outside and then put the truck together. Demo we're rebuilding the top end on a 56 Ford. Demo's trying to wrap that up today. And David is putting the final touches on an 85 Silverado. Let's go in there and check this out. So David's putting the final touches on a Silverado we've been on for probably, I don't know, probably 2 months now. Totally took the truck apart, did a nice high-end paint job, redid a bunch of chrome, replaced a lot of chrome, and we're going to put a bed liner, spray a bed liner in it tonight. And you'll probably finish this truck up when?
Probably tomorrow. By the end of tomorrow, it'll be 100%.
Tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
What the hell are you wearing this time? Oh, God.
Beans and cornbread, right?
I don't know what I'm going to do with David. You know, he used to cover himself in cologne for TV. Now it's beans and cornbread, and it stunk to high heaven. I don't know what the kid's got going on, but the truck he's working on is fantastic. He keeps my shop in good order, so I can't complain. Beans and cornbread. At least it doesn't smell like the Woman's Boutique or Bath and Body Works anymore. Oh, Mr. Aroma. But anyway, the truck's looking good. But the drag car, 57 Bel Air drag car, got a lot of history behind the car, and man, I'm so excited to have it here. This car's got some serious history behind it. You know, there's some history behind the 65 Corvette. But there's some sure enough history behind this 57 drag car. And think about this, it's a 1957 car. Well, it first hit the race circuit in 1960. It was virtually a new car, out running in the stock class. So that's just cool stuff. That's good history. The car spent a lot of time in a barn prior to us getting it. It was not neglected, it was just put up. It was put up, and through the years, somebody robbed the motor and transmission out of it. But it's got a lot of telltale signs left with the car. We're going to try to preserve a lot of the history of the car. You'll notice this is fuel regulator. There's a line lock in it, fuel pressure switches and things like that. And I know you're saying, what's a line lock? Well, a line lock is this. It locks the front wheels so that the back tires spin freely, so you can do a burnout and heat the tires up. Y'all haven't seen me do that before, have you? But all in all, the car's really cool. We've got a lot of new stuff, and we're going to try to put this car back the way it was in its heyday. I'll be quite honest with you, we're building the vehicle to sell. Yeah, so the provenance, the history, yes, it's going to help sell the vehicle. And I'm going to put it back the way it's supposed to be. I'm not butchering this car. I'm not doing anything that wasn't there. So I've done the research and going to document the build, and we're just basically restoring this car. I want you to think about this for a second. I am only a caregiver to this car for a very short time. The next person is the same way. He's the caregiver to that car for a very short time. Then maybe he sells it or somebody inherits or whatever. So whoever were the caregivers for this car all of the past, I'm thankful they took care of it. I've recently purchased a new small block motor built to our taste, built to our specs for this car from Jasper Engines of all places. They do a lot of custom builds for us. I haven't settled on the transmission yet. But all in all, I know what I'm doing with the car and where I'm going with it. It's to try to go back the way it was in '61 when it won its first championship. Now, check this out. I've got to preserve this. On the side windows of the car is some of the stickers the guys put on the car when they actually drag race. And if you look through the car at the other side, there's two different stickers. That sticker on the far back dates to 1961. So the car actually came from Minneapolis, Minnesota, of all places. But all in all, man, this is just a cool car. David, you think we're going to be able to get this car back together?
Yes, sir. I think it's going to be a pretty good car. It's going to be a bad car.
No worries for me.
No, sir.
I'm thankful it was in that barn in Minnesota. And I'm thankful we found it. And the Windows sticker still being on that car. You know, given the history of that car burning up the drag strip. That's just cool stuff, man. When it comes to normal cars, They have normal lug nuts, normal studs. This car has a narrowed rear end. In other words, the rear end is narrower than factory. It has extra long studs, and they're grade 8 studs. And if you look at the axle on the car, they're stamped, so it's hardened axles. So you can put a big fat tire on the back, do burnouts. Front wheels should come off the ground. It's a 4-link suspension. It's antique 4-link suspension. It's early, but we're gonna put it back together and keep it that way. And for it being a Bel Air, it was a radio delete car of all things. Really a cool car. Really proud to have it in the shop. We've got 6 months to build this car, and I think that's kind of tight, but I think we can do it. So last month I showed you guys a speed part, a little shift knob, and so each month I'm going to try to bring you a little different piece of trivia. You know, in the state of Georgia, if you have a collector car, you can find a tag that matches the year of the car and you can run it on that car. But did you know this? Did you know that on old tags, the state of Georgia, the first 2 numbers tell you what county that was? So here's number 12 and number 13. Number 12 happened to be Henry County. So if you find an antique Georgia tag with a number 1, that's Fulton County. So you could even get so detailed in your collector plates as to get the county that matches the county you live in, that matches the year of your vehicle. So that's just cool stuff. Now I just love automobilia. I love license plates, car parts, you know, they're all over the shop. So that's just a little bit of trivia for you. You can go right on down the list, making bib. They all had a certain number that designated their tag for what county they was in. Pretty cool, huh? That means you got to get back to work.
No.
Beans and cornbread. What the?
Dinner. Looking good.
Well, you know, Jeremy, what do you expect? 1957 truck? I mean, you know, and with the rarity of the truck, I know it's tough windshield to get in. It looks good. It looks real good. I got so much time in that truck, man. God, I got way too much time in that truck. But that's what he wanted.
Better wrap it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to do the back window. I got a few lights to put in, but all in all, that's it. I mean, we need to detail it and clean it up. I need to go take it down the road. So if you remember last month, we had this truck in a million pieces. It's done. Actually, she took it home and she's had it on the road a week now. I had her bring it back just for the TV show today. We did tires and wheels, 15-inch tires and wheels. Truck runs and drives great. We did get the tailgate in. If you remember last month, I was waiting on the tailgate. Now I had to kind of age the tailgate to match the truck. You remember she wanted barn tin in the bed? We got it. The Studebaker's really cool. It's a rat rod. It's not supposed to look new. Now, to me, it's a piece of art. I earnestly believe that's a piece of art, and it's hard to achieve get in someone's mind and get out what they're thinking for their vehicle. Now, my Army sergeant bought that vehicle, half done, cobbled up. We've gone through everything from the suspension, tires and wheels, the driveline, the brakes. We went through the motor. We didn't have to touch the transmission. I put the Campbell tune on it. That truck's good, running, smooth driving truck. Got old barn tin. Underneath here's a piece of plywood, so it's sturdy enough you could haul some furniture. I had Chaston pinstripe, do some striping on it. He wrote petrol. That's where the gas tank is right there. It's a custom built vehicle that fits her. It's a little short for me to drive it. I'm 6 foot tall. Okay, 6 foot. No, really, I'm 6 foot. She's a little shorter, and the brake pedal, the gas pedal is built to fit her. The shifter, the steering wheel is built for her. So it's a custom built vehicle to her taste. All the interior panels she bought offline, all the memorabilia you see hanging in there, the headliner, she picked that out. I'm a skull guy, so I thought the headliner was cool. I built the visors out of some old signs we had around here. The barn tin came from a good friend of mine, Ben, a guy I go to church with. I was just visiting with him at church once and I said, man, I need some barn tin. And guess what? It showed up on my front doorstep. Chaston did all the lettering and all the pinstriping. These sideboards came off of a C30, a big 1-ton truck that we did some time ago. So those were just old scrap sideboards. Trying to make the truck look like it's supposed to have patina and old. Now the interior of the truck, if you remember last time, it was in a million pieces. We've got the door panels done. I've got a full gauge set up and a speedometer. Logan got his brake pedal finished. We put some soft mats in the floor. Built her a cool shifter with a Frankenstein skull on it. Everything just came together. We did that truck in 2 weeks. So the goal was she bought it, she wanted it at her driveway before her husband came home for Thanksgiving. He's in the military too. And in fact, the motor that Demo is putting together today, that's his truck. The 56 Ford, the big 390 massive motor sitting in that truck, that's his truck. So we got a car family thing going on here with trucks and cars, and it's cool stuff. When the truck came to us, it was really a fire hazard. So I built a new wiring harness out by hand. I actually fashioned a radiator shroud, a fan shroud, out of a 36 tire cover. So when you build a rat rod, you want to repurpose as much as you can. You want to use what you have more so than a hot rod. You want to use what you have. You don't necessarily run to the parts store to buy a piece for the vehicle you're building. You want to be creative. You want to be inventive, and you want to build your stuff. Small block Chevy. I put the Campbell tune on it, and I got it running right. The Campbell tune. The Campbell tune is what I call it when I've built a carburetor, adjusted timing, and I've got the maximum horsepower out of a V8. That's the Campbell tune. Looks like it fell off the top of Stone Mountain, but it's a good truck, man. It's really cool stuff. You guys want to go for a spin? Now that's a cool truck.
Hey, how you doing today?
How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's good to see you too.
Yes.
Hey, I stopped by today. Yeah, I did. I want to stop by and see you for a few minutes, let you know that we started something new at Peach Auction Sales.
Wonderful.
We've got an every other week dealer auction on Tuesday evenings.
Yeah, I mean, Richard and those guys they're just great guys at Peach Auction Sales. they're turning it up a notch. They're starting to have dealer auctions. In other words, they're having auctions that help dealers out, liquidate their stuff, and you know, get more inventory of what they want. And they're just good people down there, man. I can call them for any advice on cars. I think I know everything about cars, but Richard is a walking encyclopedia. He's helped me a lot with the Corvette. So they're just good people.
And we've got used car dealers, new car dealers bringing cars in. And it's turned out real good. We've done 4 of them.
Wonderful.
And looking forward to maybe moving from every other Tuesday to every week, maybe by
Fantastic.
February.
Is that something I'd be interested in coming
I think
to?
you would be.
Okay. But now that's not going to affect the collector car auction
No, no.
and the diamonds in the rough.
No, January 31st is our next Diamond in the Rough auction.
I want to be there. In fact, I want to bring some. I want to bring my '57 Ford down for that one.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you thought any more about the Corvette?
I have.
Good deal.
Yeah,
good
we
deal.
talk about that some.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, man, if you can hang out a little bit, I'd like to sit and visit with you.
Oh, I do that. I hang out as good as anybody.
But I appreciate you coming up. But the dealer auction is every other
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So we have a calendar of days that we have the
You
auction.
just go to your website. It's probably the easiest way to go. Yeah, good deal. Good deal. Well, if you'll give me a few minutes, we'll sit down and we'll talk about
No
Corvette
problem.
and the '57. But good to see you, Richard.
All right, good to see you too.
Not anybody can call it the Campbell tune, but I can call it the Campbell tune. I got that trademark. Well, maybe I should have that trademarked.